a CRN original.
Attention, you are about to hear the captivating voice of an icon in the movie industry. You have heard him and seen him in performances in over 140 films. He's met and influenced many world leaders, and now he's about to tell you how to unite the America he loves.
That job's filled.
Unique.
Unique.
Brilliant.
Brilliant.
And unpredictable.
Unpredictable.
Robert Davi is a Renaissance man who writes, directs, sings, and does it all with excellence.
Yeah, it's okay. We're all very impressed, but let's get on with it now.
Robert Davi believes he should use his voice to both repay and help unite America, the America that made his dreams come true.
No more Mr. Nice Guy.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is The Robert Davi Show.
Hey everyone, welcome in, either by voice or if you're watching. I am not Robert Davi. Daniel West is the name, filling in. I come to you from AM 870, The Answer in LA, where I know Jennifer Horn. You probably know her as the boss around here, but over there they call me Dan the Phone Man, because I do the phone screening, do a lot of stuff behind the scenes there, but occasionally I do have some takes on what's going on in the world of politics, world of sports, world of news, and so apparently she liked them, and she was like, hey, come to the other side. So I feel unleashed in a very tame, a very calm way. I'm not alone, though. Nick Davi is here with me as well.
That's right. What's up? What's up?
Any relation?
Just maybe just a little bit.
Maybe just a little. I'm kidding. So a lot to get to today. I want to have a wide range of topics today. We'll do a little bit of sports. We'll have a little bit of fun. Do want to start off with the big story of the day, and that, of course, is the elections that went on last night. And everyone was looking at Virginia. That was the big key point. What was going to happen in Virginia? Polls were saying different things. Glenn Youngkin, the Republican, wins in Virginia. What I found most interesting about this, of course, I am not in Virginia. We're not in Virginia right now, but this is a man, he was with the Carlyle Group until September 2020. Now, today's date is November 3rd, 2021. So this is not a political man, clearly. This is a man who, a mere year ago, was working in the financial industry. So how do you go from that? So we're not talking just primaries. We're not talking like, oh, a year ago he won his first primary. No, a year ago he was doing other things with his life. Now, this election really turned when Terry McAuliffe made a comment about how parents shouldn't be involved in their education of children and how it's pretty much just the schools and that's the teacher's job. And I looked at it not even in a political way, but just from a common sense way. Now, in nature, we know don't mess with mama bears. Don't mess with you can do a lot of things. If you're in the forest, you see a bear, don't mess with them. So all this time, all of these months, we've had lockdowns, we've had shutdowns, and people, they've spoken up. People have generally had, if not entirely compliant, they've definitely been like, okay, we'll go along. We'll flatten the curve. Some of us don't want to wear masks. Some of us, okay, cool. We'll go along with it. We've had our moments. We had the French Laundry thing with Gavin Newsom. So it clearly, people are upset. But then you had to go after the parents. And I'm just like, why? Not even politically, not to give my politics. I'm not a Democrat. That's for sure. That's what I know. I do lean conservative for sure. But there's a part of me that just steps back as a neutral, is just like, why would you do this? And I'm like, why would you go out of your way to get parents riled up and ticked off? Because now you've lost, not only are you losing the conservative parents who are ticked off about this, probably the independent parents are looking around and saying, wait a minute, hold on a minute. No, these are our children. You've taken away everything else from us. In some cases, our jobs. In some cases, livelihoods, which, jobs. But you have your businesses. It's been taken away. But now you're going after the children. And at that point, it seemed like Glenn Youngkin just rode that wave.
Definitely. It's pretty crazy. Like, the world, when it comes to school and education, it's definitely becoming harder and harder to predict which way we're going. Because there's just so many different things that are happening that are out of our control that it's just like,
yeah,
what do we do?
And here's something another thing about myself, I was homeschooled pretty much from the time I was in kindergarten. Shout out to my mom. She's probably watching or listening. Hey, Mom. And things didn't change for me. When all of this happened, when all this stuff shut down, things didn't really change for me or my sister, who's a lot younger than I am. But when I was the first time I went to school, pretty much in any school setting besides like taking an exit exam to get out of high school, was in college. So from the time I was in kindergarten all the way until my first day of college, I was pretty much homeschooled. So my mom knew everything about what I was doing, and there were a lot of different methods and a lot of different stuff she used. But I think what happened last year is everyone became homeschoolers because when the school shut down, suddenly, all right, we're teaching at home. So I think a lot of parents did care about what their kids are learning, of course, but they didn't know, oh, here's in detail what we're learning until they're sitting at home. So the other backdrop to this whole Glenn Youngkin story, what's happening in Virginia, is the parents are finally looking around and saying, okay, this is what they're learning. I didn't know this. Yeah. I care about what I care about what my children are learning. I didn't know we were doing this. What are we doing over here? So to begin with, you have very concerned parents who now have a voice because, the kid's coming home. They have their homework, getting it done. Yeah, we're just learning. And they're like, oh, okay, hang on. What are we learning? What? At what age? I don't know if we're cool with this. No, yeah. So you already have them a little bit ticked off. So just a word of advice. I don't know if you can write this down. I don't know if there are any Democrats in Virginia listening or just Democrats in general or just people running for office or just trying to be smart. Don't further upset them because they're already on edge. And that's not even getting into the stories we had about what happened in the bathroom with the transgender deal in Virginia and how schools did not handle that well at all. So you couple that on top of it. You have the mask mandates thrown in. You have all that. And then on top of that boiling pot, which has been stewing for a year, you have a guy come in and say, yeah, this really isn't your job. We'll take care of your kids. And here's a man, Glenn Youngkin, who seems to have run a good campaign. But honestly, anyone in that position who's saying, hi, I'm not that, you're definitely going to get some votes. So it was interesting to see over the course of weeks. It's like, oh, can you have a Republican challenger? Can he win? But as soon as that happened, you could a light switch went off.
Yeah. How do you feel about the recent elections? And how those went in Virginia?
I think that there's a balance. It seems like America always has a balance. If they're not happy about something, we vote the other way.
Yeah.
And that's why what I'm concerned, why I think election integrity is so important is because that has always been, outside of the Civil War, for the most part, has been our recourse against taking up arms and fighting. Because we always say, okay, if we don't like what's going on, we always have the ability to vote. We can vote with that. So I think it's just a natural balance. You've seen it before. People weren't happy with what Bush did. Okay. Midterms come. People weren't happy with what Obama did. Okay. It's a kind of back and forth. So I wasn't too surprised to see what happened over the course of last night with the elections and various, because it wasn't New Jersey is still a toss-up. I don't think we have anything declared in New Jersey. Right. And that was supposed to be a little bit more of an easy contest for Phil Murphy to get reelected. So I'm honestly not that surprised, because if this election is fair, and I'm not going to go down that road necessarily, but the idea is you definitely want it to be fair, because it's the thing keeping us at peace. It always has been, outside of the Civil War, which was an issue that was so big and so broad and involved humanity that it wasn't just something that, hey, we can vote, and like that's a conflict that's not going to be resolved by just speaking clearly. But a lot of the conflicts we have can be settled by voting and saying we don't want this in there. So if people feel disenfranchised, kind of like they did in 2020 and leading up to it, there's more cause for concern. But I'm not at all surprised to see, a pseudo red wave, and we'll see what happens further along.
Hopefully some better things to come,
We'll see.
Obviously, I hope whoever's in office, no matter they're Democrat or Republican, I want them to do good things.
Right.
But it seems like lately it's becoming more and more rare, in a sense, to find people like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and on a similar track on voting, it came out recently. We finally, when was the recall election? It was several months ago. We finally got the results. I don't know who was counting. I don't know if they snails or sloths were in there, because it seemed to be moving very slowly along. We finally got kind of the full data and everything from the recall election.
Months upon
Yeah,
months
my
later.
goodness. I mean, I was joking earlier today. I was like, 2026, they're just going to be like, hey, we finally got the final votes in. Newsom stays, and it's like, Newsom, that was like 2 governors ago. What are you guys doing? It's like, we found the final votes. But what was interesting is there was a 30 voters under 30. It dropped by 48% in the recall election.
Wow.
And as you're talking about the idea of, I don't care whether it's Republican, I don't care if it's Democrat, I just want people in there. I think I'm a young guy. For those of you who cannot see me, I'm a young guy. I'll be 25 later on this month. And because I do care about what happens in the world, I do feel like I have a stake in it. And there are people who've gone before me who made sure that I had the right to vote as an American, as we left England, as a black man, because, it was not easy. There were restrictions. So I take voting very seriously. But there are a lot of people out there, my age, I would say, who saw first all the division in 2016. That was my first introduction to voting. My introduction to politics is 2016. That's not the greatest. Then you have everything happen here in 2020 and all the controversy and everything. I think there is a group of young people who are just like, I don't see enough change. I don't see what's going on, and I'm just going to tap out of it. And I think that's unfortunate, and that's something we got to look forward to here.
I agree. We definitely need everyone to continue to vote. It's very important.
Right.
We gotta get the God, what's the look?
Yeah, like I said, that's our recourse. That's what's keeping us at peace. We'll be right back here on the Davi Show on CRN Digital Talk, also on podcast, YouTube. We'll be right back. Thanks for listening.
I'm Al Simon, 91 years young. I created Balance 7 20 years ago. At 67, I went to see the doctor for the first time in my life and found that I had medical problems. He told me that was normal for my age. I don't believe God intended us to be sick and old. I decided to find something to bring my health back. For 10 years, I studied pH and how important it is to the human system. Balance 7 gave me back what I lost by getting older. I no longer get out of bed with a joint discomfort. Balance 7 can do for you what it has done for me and many others. In 3 days' time, you'll feel more energy, less joint discomfort, and clarity of thinking. No doctor or hospital can do what Balance 7 can do for you. Balance 7 is the key to unlocking the healthy immune system. Bring your body back to balance. Order now. Receive free shipping with the code word AL. Go to balance7.com. That's balance7.com. Order now and get your free shipping and a free gift with your order. Go to balance7.com. Use the code word AL.
What are you going to do with your old car? You can try selling it, you could junk it, or you could donate it to Heritage for the Blind. Your car will be towed away for free, and your donation is tax deductible. Just call 1-800-785-9618. Heritage for the Blind accepts cars, vans, trucks, and boats. It doesn't matter if your vehicle runs or not. It will be towed away for free, and you'll be supporting those that need help. Heritage for the Blind is a nonprofit organization that helps the visually impaired live fuller lives. Call right now to donate your car, and as a special thank you for calling, you'll receive a free 3-day vacation voucher to many exciting locations. Call Heritage for the Blind right now, 1-800-785-9618. Donating is easy, and your vehicle is towed away for free. Plus, you'll get a free vacation voucher. Call now, 1-800-785-9618. That's 1-800-785-9618.
Let's talk about your credit cards. When you first start using them, it's a slow drip. You make charges, then more charges, then bills come, and they keep coming. When you open your statements, the floodgates come pouring in. You realize you have more credit card debt than you can afford, and you're barely making the minimum payments. Wouldn't it be nice to make one affordable payment and have all your credit card bills covered? Make this free call and learn our responsible way to get your credit card bills paid and under control.
Sponsored by Consumer Education Services, a nonprofit organization.
800-876-3643. 800-876-3643. 800-876-3643. That's 800-876-3643.
CESI is not a loan company. The establishment of a debt management plan may adversely affect your credit rating. Non-payment of debt may lead creditors to increase finance and other charges to undertake collection activity, including liquidation.
Robert Davi.
I want you to know this is nothing personal. It's purely business.
All right, welcome back in. This is CRN Digital Talk on YouTube as well, podcasting. I'm Daniel West, filling in for Robert Davi here on The Robert Davi Show. He is on special assignment. I'm not at liberty to tell you what he's up to, but at some time you will discover it from someone here. I come to you from AM 870, The Answer in Los Angeles, California, where I, behind the scenes there, work with Jennifer Horn, and she was like, hey, would you be interested in filling in? I was like, absolutely, it'll be an honor. So that is why I'm here today. Nick Davi is across from me, and we're having a good conversation, a good chat.
Yep, it's been great having you here so far.
Thank you. I hope that I'm somewhere in the middle. I am not aspiring to be the greatest fill-in host you ever had, but I also don't want it to be like, man, that guy could not speak.
That
guy could not do anything. So I'm just like, all right, just right in the middle, you know, and maybe a few flashes that are memorable. Before we kind of move on, I did want to get back to, we were talking about voting before, and I'm curious to get your take on this, Nick, because 2020, I was helping out at our station with election night coverage, but every night before then, I don't remember 2000 very much, which took months now that I kind of look back on it. I remember watching 04, sitting around, watching that. 08, election night, watching that. 2012, 2016, that was a wild night. Then 2020 happened. And when I got off work at midnight after seeing, all right, what time is it? All right, let's stop counting. We'll all go home. I was like, what am I doing? And it changed. And ever since then, when the Georgia happened, I walked by TV at work. I was like, we'll see in the morning. We'll see what happens. And then with this election, I was like, all right, polls closed in Virginia. Cool. Yeah, I'll check in on it. And honestly, I paid no attention to it. So I'm curious, first of all, what was your experience on election night? And has it changed? Because it has absolutely changed me.
Well, has it changed me, or has it changed?
Or have you changed? Sorry, hang on for a minute. I'll get the words out here.
How have I changed from it?
Have you changed how you watch election night coverage? Did 2020, did any of all of that change?
So I just remember the 08 election, because you're a few years older than me. I remember the 08 election. I remember the 2012 election. I remember 2015 or 2016. And 2020, obviously. And the thing I've noticed is each year, I feel like the numbers of separation just heighten, and there's just more volume added to it every year somehow. And it obviously has to do with the media. But every year I just notice it's a thing, like we're all separating more and more. It's, you know, it's almost as if it's like we're a part of some plan.
Yeah, and I think you're right about the media, because I don't think we're really that far apart. We definitely have disagreeing opinions.
Oh, yeah.
But I think someone's over here, and then the media and everyone is pushing each other to be like, look at those people over there. And if we were to stop, get out of our bubbles and look at each other and be like, wait a minute. We agree on a lot. Yeah, we're different on this, or we can agree to disagree and be very respectful about it. But we are in such an atmosphere and a swirl that it forces us to kind of be pitted against each other. And you're right. These are a lot more contentious elections. That might be part of it too. The fact that before it wasn't neck and neck and 60,000 votes. Of course, I mean, we've always had close elections, but it wasn't 60,000 votes separating everything, or the media kind of stirring stuff up, because it's almost like sports channels now. We know that MSNBC has this link. We know Fox has this link. So we're not going to call this race because we're fans over here and we don't want to flip out. Like that's the part that kind of concerns me, is when you're doing an election, it shouldn't be like I'm watching Sportsnet with the Dodgers and I flip over and it's the Brewers on Fox Sports or Bally Sports or whatever. Like, it should be, here are the results, here's what we're getting. But a lot of times it's like, hey, we got something to announce. Unfortunately, this seat is flipped. Now it's like, I don't need that. And you're right. I think it does play into the whole idea that we are becoming more and more divided, or it looks like we're becoming more and more divided. And so what was before an election night to just sit back, chill, watch the results come in, is now this whole contentious thing that just feeds and continuates feeds the beast.
Yeah. I wish we would spend more time talking to one another, because if you've noticed, like every video I see on social media, when people are talking cordially, you know, like human beings, things go well. Like we see that we agree on some things and obviously disagree on some.
Yeah.
But one of the main issues today is we don't talk to each other enough. We just see one headliner on the news and we're like, there's my opinion.
Judging the book by its cover. Mm-hmm. And I didn't mean to talk about this, but I do find it interesting on the whole front of Twitter. When you talk about cancel culture and different avenues like that, I honestly don't think, like take Dave Chappelle, for instance, everything that's happened with him. I don't think that we have gotten worse as far as cancel culture. I think now we just have more avenues to find all the like-minded people and get outraged together. Because like before, if you're upset about Dave Chappelle's special, you write in a letter to Netflix, and Netflix never has to say how many thousands of letters they receive, how many complaints about his comedy special. It's just like, okay, either they deal with it or they don't. And he might issue a statement, or they might be like, they might issue a statement. But now, suddenly the 8,000 people who are upset about whatever's happening that used to just send in letters or used to be dispersed wherever, now they can all show up on Twitter, and in 5 minutes, oh, wow, the mob is coming for whoever. So that's been the biggest part of cancel culture that I don't think is discussed as much. As I don't think that we're more outraged. I think that the outragers just have a chance to communicate, to come together, and suddenly it appears to be a lot bigger thing than it is.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
definitely.
Those are my thoughts. And also, if we got rid of the trending section,
oh please,
everything would be. We would be. There was a moment in The Simpsons. I used to watch The Simpsons, and there's a joke they make where a lawyer sitting at the table. He said, "Can you imagine a world without lawyers?" And it's just everyone holding hands around a rainbow, and everyone's dancing, and like all the nations of the world are there. Honestly, if we get rid of the trending section, we might have something like that, because it just feeds into the idea like, oh, why is this trending? And you click on it. Oh, they said what? Oh, wow. Thousands of other people are mad about this. Let me get on this. Like, I remember the two moments where I realized like we had jumped the shark and just gone absurd as far as it was. One, Josh Hader, the baseball player, pitching in the All-Star game. I don't know who found his Twitter during the All-Star game. I don't know who decided to search for racist things and keynotes or quote mark it so that you can find it. But you know, if he's pitching in the 6th inning or whatever, and by the 9th inning, it's like Josh Hader had been canceled because they found some stuff, and it does not at all, you know, give him a pass on what he said. But also, he was like a 15-year-old, and someone's mining through tweets from 2011, 2012, and it's just like, okay, wait a minute.
He was 15?
I think he was a teenager.
Oh, wow.
Like, it wasn't like he was in the minor leagues and he was saying some mess. Like, he was a teenager. Should he have said it? Absolutely not.
Definitely not.
But it's absurd. And then the other one was, there was someone, I don't remember her name. I'll get it during the break and look it up. But Alexi McCammon, that was her name. She worked for Teen Vogue. Charles Barkley made some comments. She replied to Charles Barkley. Charles Barkley just says whatever Charles Barkley wants to say. She was offended by it, so she makes some comments. She tweets about it, and then people start digging up her past, and she had said some stuff that was offensive. She apologized for it. In 2020, Alexi McCammon is trending again. She's lost her job at Vogue. I'm like, surely there is new information. No. The same tweets that she'd apologized for a year earlier, the mob had found them again, and instead of just apologizing again, she lost her job over it. That was a moment when I'm like, what are we doing here? We're double canceling people. We need some sense in here. We need to chill out a little bit. We will chill out as well. We will be back here.
Yeah, sorry.
No, you're good. This is the Robert Davi Show. Daniel West filling in, CRN Digital Talk. We'll be right back.
These are the sounds of Columbo's Italian Steakhouse and Jazz Club.
Look at this ribeye. Did you see that ribeye?
Fantastic. Incredible.
This is delicious.
Sausage and lentil soup, special today. Very, very good.
Look at this garlic bread. Best garlic bread I ever had.
And here's Vic Perino, owner and operator of Columbo's.
A lot of the Italian recipes are my uncle's own recipes. We have a lot of people coming back for his hand-rolled lasagna. We make it basically from scratch. I think ours is exceptional.
Here's Vic on what makes Columbo's Colombo's different than any other Italian restaurant.
The other thing that sets us apart from other Italian restaurants is that we're an Italian steakhouse. We specialize in our steaks.
Plus, there's more.
We have entertainment 7 nights a week. So they're coming for a lot of reasons to value. Their value per dollar that they're getting, plus coming into a neighborhood-friendly place. Sometimes we're actually accused of being the melting pot of Eagle Rock.
Colombo's in Eagle Rock on Colorado Boulevard, 323-254-9138. Manja.
If Ernest Hemingway was alive today, would he say this to you?
Shakespeare, Mark Twain, Edgar Allan Poe, all great writers. And after reading your book, I simply must add you to the list.
Wait, you don't have a book yet. So make a free call to Page Publishing. Their expert staff can help you turn your book idea into a real book, a masterpiece that could someday make the bestseller list in hard copy and digitally all across the world. Page Publishing can help you completely take your idea for a book, write it, and publish it. So if you want to join the ranks of some of the most famous authors in the world, call now for a free information kit. Turn your book idea into publishing gold. Make a free call right now to Page Publishing.
800-378-3212. 800-378-3212. 800-378-3212. That's 800-378-3212.
Have you heard about Vine to Bar chocolate? It's the winemaker's chocolate, the world's first chocolate made with well-vined Chardonnay marc from the beautiful coastal vineyards of North America. Gently pressed grapes are harvested after juicing, dried and finely milled and carefully blended into the finest dark chocolate. The Chardonnay marc contains highly beneficial grape nutrients, flavanols, and has a natural sweetness that flavors the luscious dark chocolate. Mouth-watering, flavorful, delectable dark chocolate goodness with Chardonnay sweetness and beneficial nutrients. And it's alcohol-free, too. It's Vine to Bar chocolate. Order some today at vinetobar.com. That's VINETOBAR.com. Cold shipped to your door, it's Vine to Bar. Vine to Bar chocolate. Visit us at vinetobar.com.
Attention real estate investors. Do you need cash immediately? If you own one or multiple rental properties, you can use your equity to get cash out fast. The best part is we don't need tax returns or even a good credit score. At America's Loan Source, we are not a bank and we don't have bank rules. We make the decisions to loan you money, and there's no limit how much we can give you. Some clients have gotten as much as $500,000 or more within days. Use the money any way you want. If you own one rental property or 100 and COVID has left you in a cash crunch, we can help you turn your equity into fast cash. Call now for details and close in as little as 10 days and get the cash you need. 800-353-1760. 800-353-1760. 800-353-1760. That's 800-353-1760.
The Robert Davi Show.
This is authentic. Una furtiva lagrima negli occhi.
All right, we are back here on the Robert Davi Show. I'm Daniel West, filling in for Robert Davi, who is on special assignment. I am not at liberties to share where he is or what he is doing. Only special assignment. That was written. That was given. I was given one instruction. That's to say he's on special assignment, and leave it at that. That's all I got. CRN Digital Talk, also available podcast and YouTube and a whole lot of other places. Twitch as well. Did I hear Twitch correctly? Are we on Twitch as well?
Quite possibly.
Quite possibly.
But we are on Twitter. We're on Facebook. We're on Alexa and Google Home. All you got to say is CRN.
Very nice.
And yeah.
That's exciting. I feel I have reverse stage fright. When I hear that like people are watching or listening, I get very excited. I'm like, all right, now we're into something. So that's always cool. Now I want to get into a little bit of sports. Before we get to the fun stuff, a story that just broke last night with former, because he was cut, former Las Vegas wide receiver Henry Ruggs was involved in an accident on Tuesday, killing one person, felony DUI, felony reckless driving. He crashed his Corvette into the back of a RAV4, driving 156 miles an hour.
Jesus. Do you know if he was on a highway or something?
I'm not sure about that. I'll look into it. But
that is really
the justice of the peace said, I cannot recall a speed that high in my entire career on the bench. So it's not even about football at that point. It's just a human story, a sad story, and just a reminder that, you know, life can be taken away, whether that's your professional life or someone's life, just like that. And you gotta be careful. There's no reason.
No matter
like
who
that.
you are.
No, not at all. So
it's very sad.
Of course, you know, prayers for that family, and a couple weeks for the Raiders, man. John Gruden.
Yeah, they've been going through it, dude.
Yeah. So a bit of an awkward transition because you don't want to immediately transition to hey, but you know, an awkward transition. But we did end with the World Series. The World Series ended. Did you, Nick Davi? No relation to Robert. Did you watch any of the World Series?
I only saw highlights, unfortunately. Yeah. I, for some reason, fell asleep pretty early last night. I guess I just had to catch up on some sleep, but I heard the Braves won.
They did win.
As long as the Astros didn't win, I'm totally fine with it.
There was a map of who are you rooting for, and it looked like the re-election map when Nixon was re-elected, where it's just pretty much all one color and then a little bit of Houston Astros at the bottom there. For those of you who don't know, I only know this because I think it's in the restroom at the Nixon Library. They have the electoral map of Nixon. And have you seen the Verizon commercials where they talk about their nationwide coverage? Like, it basically looks like that. It's just, it's entirely red map and then this little dot somewhere that's blue. There's a website you can go to, side note, to look at like all the electoral college victories. And like it rivals, Reagan was a blowout.
Yeah, I was gonna say
and then like George Washington. Like, those might be the top three of all time. But, yeah, everyone was rooting against the Astros except Texas. And maybe Rangers fans weren't. Except Texas. And I think Louisiana was up there as well because next to Texas, they were rooting for them as well.
Makes sense.
But, again, so 2017, the Houston Astros win the World Series against the Los Angeles Dodgers. I'm a Dodgers fan. I'm a Dodgers and Angels fan, the rare combination. If we had more time, I could explain how awkward that is and why that is. Short story, 2002. I was a kid. The Angels won the World Series. And then I got into the Dodgers a little later. I'm like, they play in separate leagues. One hasn't won the World Series in a while. I'd like to see it in my lifetime. So I root for them both. So 2017, Houston Astros win the World Series. There's a cheating scandal that comes out that they had this sophisticated camera equipment. They would bang on trash cans to figure out whether it was a breaking ball or a fastball. And that's very important in baseball because if you know what pitch is coming, you're more likely to hit it. So they have this elaborate system. And Major League Baseball kind of goes, okay, that's cool. We'll fine you, and you can get your executive out there and the manager. But, you know, cool, just don't do it again. And people were not happy about this. So they got spared because 2020 is the year without many fans. So they only just had to deal with players throwing balls at them, calling them cheaters and all that. Then 2021 happens, and, of course, everyone kind of reignites the flames. So I remember one of the first games, I wasn't there, but seeing at Angel Stadium when the Astros were there, Dodgers fans came down the freeway to join in, making fun of the Astros. Some guy with a trash can was out there banging on a trash can that he had a cast on his arm, so he actually dropped the trash can onto the field while he was banging it. So in 2019, they go back to the World Series. They lose at home to the Washington Nationals. They get back this year, and they lose to the Atlanta Braves. And the world celebrates. It's like at the end of Star Wars. You just have fireworks going off. All around the world, people are dancing, celebrating, except in Houston, of course. And I would, honestly, this might be a little bit harsh. And if there are Astros fans out there, you did nothing wrong. I'm not speaking to you, not mean to be personal, not mean to be mean. But this would be humorous from my perspective, would be if we look up, 60, 70 years from now, and it's like the Cubs or it's like the Red Sox, and they still haven't won the World Series. They keep going occasionally, keep losing them at home, and then it becomes this aura that they cheated with these trash cans and they sold their soul for one championship and they haven't won a World Series since. And then, 9 generations from now, however long it takes, somebody who wasn't even born in 2017 delivers that Astros World Series championship and ends the curse. But I would find that utterly hilarious if I'm an old man and we're still talking about, man, the Astros haven't won a World Series then, and just the whole city. I don't mean any disrespect to Houston. I don't revel in your pain, but from a sporting standpoint, it would be pretty funny if we're looking back and it's just like all of Houston just waiting for that other championship to come, and it's just like, wow, this is like it becomes the new Cubs.
They're gonna have to wait another century for one.
That would be pretty funny. So I'm a baseball fan, but I didn't watch much of this World Series. 2020 really changed my viewing habits. I got super into motorsports. I was already a big NASCAR fan, a big racing fan, and I got into F1 because it was on. But once there were no fans, I was done.
Yeah, Well, I'm a huge hockey fan.
Oh,
so whenever you watch the playoffs,
yes.
One of the biggest things is hearing that crowd, man. It's crazy.
I didn't watch a second of it. Congratulations to the Lightning on winning in the bubble. You completed your season, but no, I was out of it.
They did great, but it was pretty boring.
Yes.
I mean, not boring. It's still crazy to watch the games and your team win the game, and it's still exhilarating, yeah. But without the fans there, like, the players had less energy.
Yeah.
And it's noticeable.
Yes.
And, so once the fans came back, you really could see the play pick up now. Yep. So that's what I'm happy about.
In fact, I know, like I said, I've been waiting for the Dodgers to win a World Series. I had no interest in the playoffs last year until I was watching like a random highlight and they showed a fly ball and I was like, is that a human in the outfield? I'm in. Like in that moment, I started paying attention again because I was going to miss the World Series. I was kind of hoping that the Dodgers didn't win because I was like, it would be kind of unfortunate for this to be the one year that they win and it's just like I didn't watch because there's no fans. Yeah. But I know there were 10,000 in the seats and that was it. But the moment I saw humans, like I was back on baseball. I was totally down with the World Series. I was just thrilled. You're a Red Sox fan. So what were your thoughts on 2018? Because they had a little bit of their, I think they got off light compared to the Astros. I put them in separate categories. Yeah. I'm not out here to, the Red Sox cheated too. Humorously,
they did.
I'd claim 17 and 18 for the Dodgers, if we're going to do like college football and renege national championships. Yeah. But yeah, your thoughts on the playoffs for the Red Sox this year?
I mean, we played terrible, but in 2018, yes, we cheated. But we made up for it, okay? We gave you guys monkey bets. All right, that's more than making up for it.
That's a fair trade. We're on even terms.
The best
you
player
get the World
in the
Series, then you gave us the player who was great in that World Series. He wins us a World Series. Yeah. We're square.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And then so many former Dodgers on Alex Kike Hernandez was probably my favorite Dodger. I think he did play every position, I think.
Oh, really?
I think he did at some point because infield, outfield, he did them all. But I think at some point, he caught. I'm going to look into this. I think he did play catcher, and I know he was a relief pitcher in some blowout game.
Oh, my God.
So he was just like the ultimate relief guy, and kind of when he left, it was a sad day because you never knew where he was going to start. Yeah. He might be at second base one day. He might be in left field. He might be in right field. He might be on the mound. You never know.
I think he deserves a raise if he can play every position.
Yeah, that's why he went to the Red Sox because the Dodgers were like, we got to pay Mookie.
Yeah,
we have a center fielder now who can hit.
Lose him, man. He's so good.
No, he's fantastic. He's a good player. We are having a lot of fun here. This is Daniel West. Nick Davi's across from me. The Robert Davi Show on CRN Digital Talk and everywhere. Lots of other places you can find the Robert Davi Show. We'll be right back with more after this.
Does your current bathroom need to be updated immediately? Introducing One Day Bath and Shower Remodeling, the complete and hassle-free way to get the new bathroom of your dreams in as little as 1 day and for as little as $199 a month. Yes, the experts at One Day Bath and Shower Remodeling will come to you anywhere in the country and show you all the customized options. Now you can have a brand new bathroom in as little as 1 day. Large or small bathrooms, if you want a new bathtub or shower installed, we can do it in as little as 1 day. And if you call right now, you can save $750 off your remodel. We make it easy by offering you financing as low as $199 per month. Call now to schedule your free in-home consultation.
855-525-7454. 855-525-7454. That's 855-525-7454.
For the getaway of your dreams, come to Hawaii's Playground. Ka'anapali Beach Resort on the fun side of Maui, where the world comes to play. Find your spot on Ka'anapali Beach with 3 miles of white sand, 12 resort properties, 2 golf courses, and 2 shopping centers. Enjoy the playground of Hawaii's ancient royalty. Ka'anapali Beach Resort is Hawaii's original master planned destination resort and home of the Hawaii Food and Wine Festival. With views of 2 neighboring islands, you can breathe in the land's natural beauty from your favorite resort or golf fairway. Come experience Ka'anapali's own special brand of Hawaiian hospitality with world-class dining, relaxing resorts, water sports, and activities of every kind. For romantic, family, and great friend getaways, discover the options of Ka'anapali Beach Resort, where the world comes to play. Plan your getaway today. Visit Ka'anapaliResort.com. That's KAANAPALI Resort.com.
Do you want to fly somewhere, anywhere in the world? Smart travelers call myflightsearch.com for the best deals on flight tickets. Going to Manila, Bangkok, London, how about Singapore? Call myflightsearch.com for the lowest flight tickets available. What about a local vacation? Let's say you want to fly to Vegas, Orlando, Miami, Los Angeles, or Denver. Pick up the phone and call myflightsearch.com right now. We have exclusive deals that you can't find anywhere else. The only way you can get these low airline prices is by calling us. We have so many low prices available, we can't possibly tell them to you right here and now. If you're flying somewhere anytime in the next 6 months and you want the lowest airline ticket prices anywhere, you owe it to yourself to save a ton of money. So pick up your cell phone and call myflightsearch.com right now.
Call 800-445-3166. 800-445-3166. That's 800-445-3166. Call now. 800-445-3166.
The Robert Davi Show.
Mike, you let me down, Mike. You're making me look bad. I thought we had an understanding. And all I expect is a little cooperation.
Sorry, Robert.
We are back here on the Robert Davi Show. Robert away on special assignment. I'm Daniel West filling in from AM 870 The Answer in Los Angeles, where I work behind the scenes with Jennifer Horn, and that's why I'm here. She said, hey, you want to have it? I was like, sure, I'll guest host for a day. Nick Davi is right across from me. We've been having a good time chatting. Having some fun during the break talking about racing games.
Yeah,
we won't bore you, the listening and viewing audience, with racing games, but they are fun. If you do, if you're going to get into video games, I recommend racing games because you can throw a basketball, you can throw a football, you can kick a tennis ball. No, you can't kick a tennis ball. You can kick a soccer ball. You could kick a tennis ball, theoretically. I mean, no one's stopping you.
You could juggle it to practice.
You could do a lot of different things with a tennis ball, but you can't just like hop in a car and just go, racing somewhere. So racing games are kind of your outlet for that. So now getting into a little bit of the entertainment sphere. Of course, Alec Baldwin has been in the news with what happened on the set of Rust and the accidental shooting. Well, over the weekend was Halloween, and his daughter has entered the news stream as well, Ireland Baldwin, because her Halloween costume, if you haven't seen this, people are describing it as tone deaf. And I agree, because one of those things, just out of respect, it's probably not a good idea to do certain things. Now, you may have planned for weeks, for months to have a costume and you have everything ready to go. But when certain things happen, you just need to step back for a moment and just say, okay, is there any possibility that this could be taken the wrong way? That's just what I do in life generally. I think that's just a good life lesson. Now, you don't want to limit yourself so much that you just never do anything and be in fear all the time. I'm not down with that. But I do think that there's a point where you should just stop and examine and say, could I come off the wrong way to someone? And is that a risk that I want to take? In this case, apparently, maybe she did. Maybe she overrode it. But I'm looking at pictures here, and she was dressed as a schoolgirl, a rather provocative schoolgirl. And this is from the New York Post. They say, with fake blood streaming down her left eye and dripping onto her chest. And her boyfriend was dressed similarly. Let's not.
I mean, there's she's obviously not very aware.
Yeah, let's not do that. Like I said, if you've been planning this, let's run. There's Spirit Halloweens everywhere. If you're gonna celebrate, like just hit up a Spirit Halloween in every abandoned warehouse and building across the United States if you really need a last minute costume, but don't do this. Go as the school people. Still do that. I'm still not necessarily a fan of it. Okay, go as the school. Not the zombie school people. Like, I'm not saying she needs PR. I'm not saying that she needs people right there saying, all right, before you make this decision, run it through our legal counsel. She doesn't, I'm not asking for her to have just like overlords, but just stop for a minute with the boyfriend and just say, okay, let's maybe back off it this year. Maybe even next year.
It might be a good time for
it. Next year also just consider, wait a minute, a year ago this happened with my dad. When did this happen? Like 2 weeks ago? Last week? A couple weeks ago? This is not the time. Like a year from now, I would be very hesitant to do something like this. We're not even 2 months removed from it. I don't think we're even a month removed from it. Alec Baldwin just was speaking the other day about this for the first time. This is not what you do. Someone has to go in there and just say, Ireland, no. I care about you.
Do you think she's heard no before?
Oh yeah, I think definitely at some point. Yeah, definitely in her life. Yeah, and maybe that's part of it. Maybe this is the wake up call. I'm convinced that there are some people in this world who they're not going to get it through talking. They're just not going to get it. Sometimes you just need to have life smack you in the face, and then you're like, oh, okay.
That is very true.
That's why I've stopped arguing with people. We were talking earlier about the internet deal. We were talking about Twitter and social media. I've gotten to the point where I'm just like, I don't even know if I'm right. Here's just my opinion. You do with it whatever you want to do with it, and I'm going to go over here because I'm not going to convince you. I'm not. So Ireland Baldwin, that's unfortunate. Other big in the kind of entertainment media aspect is the Facebook metaverse. Facebook's parent company is now known as Meta, and they unveiled plans for the metaverse, which would be a sweeping augmented reality, so things from the digital space coming into the real world, virtual reality where we're going into the virtual space, these big grand speeches about you can be in an office in your house, but still it's like you're being in the office. Again, as I've established, I'm a young person. This whole thing terrified me. First of all, Mark Zuckerberg, I think it might be the lack of eyebrows, but he does not look very human at the moment. So for this individual to be telling me about the metaverse was very alarming.
It's pretty weird.
And I was not down with it. When it comes like even virtual reality, I'm like, would it be fun? Like for racing games, would it be fun for certain things? Yes. Even then, I'm cautious about that. But the whole idea of the metaverse, 3D spaces will let you socialize, learn, and collaborate in ways that go beyond what we can imagine. And the branding of it as well, just to come out and be the metaverse. It felt very dystopian. It honestly felt like this was like some sort of master plan coming to fruition, because it wasn't. If he had come out and said, hi, I'm Mark Zuckerberg, I'm not acting very human, and I'm very awkward talking to these people, but we at Facebook have changed our name. We have some ideas about what we can do with virtual reality in the future and some ways to help your life. Here's our presentation. That's cool. But just the branding of coming out and being like, the metaverse will change how you work and change how you interact with friends. Here's a demonstration. I was just like, no, like 10 seconds into the video, I was like, you know what? No, I'm good.
Life is going to be changed forever.
I am perfectly fine here in this reality. I don't want the smart glasses. I don't want whatever you're selling, because you specifically, no, I do not want it coming from you. You have any thoughts on the metaverse? First off, for people who don't know, the idea of a metaverse is the idea of shared spaces. So it's a digital space, but then there's a reality aspect to it. So it might be something like, instead of it just being Facebook, you're interacting with your Facebook friends in real time, and they might be somewhere in reality, but you're in a 3D space with smart glasses or with VR headset, virtual reality headset. So the idea is it's melding a lot of the ideas of social media together and bringing kind of a digital element into it. But your thoughts on the whole idea of the metaverse broadly, and then Facebook coming out and just like, they'd planned this out. This was no one-time deal. They had probably thought about this.
Years, maybe like a decade at least, I would think. But
were you unsettled by?
Yes. When I saw that interview, that video of Mark Zuckerberg first announcing it, I thought I was watching a scene from Ready Player One.
Yes.
I was like, yo.
I did get that. I did get that sense. There's something just very scripted about it, and not in the way of him speaking, just in terms of like, okay, what is the greater master plan here? Because you all have been working on this for a while. And then equally as alarming was him interviewing people. Because I don't know if he was doing green screen and then they brought them in later, but like as he was talking to people, it just seemed like he was off reading from a teleprompter somewhere or reading from his code, because is he human? Like, you've seen the man drink water. Something's going on there.
Yeah.
I am not one to claim every conspiracy theory, but something is a little strange with Mark Zuckerberg and this whole metaverse idea. I'm concerned about it.
I don't know what's gonna happen. I feel like some crazy stuff's gonna happen.
I have Instagram, which is, you know, a Facebook company. Like, I'm just concerned about. I'm just like, do I want to be associated with anything involving any of these companies now?
God, I haven't posted on social media in years.
Yeah,
I've maybe posted like a song or something on my story. You know, like this is my mood or something.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I have an Instagram account at Dan West Radio. If you're interested in following, I'd appreciate the follow. But I do occasionally like short videos. But yeah, I'm not too into the social media deal. Something I thought would be a little fun here in the last few moments we have. You're on YouTube, of course. I mean, not on YouTube, but you watch YouTube.
Of course.
I watch YouTube, and for whatever reason, I don't know how the algorithm works, how they suggest videos, but I've noticed that I'll get these Fox News videos in my suggestion feed, and I'm like, okay, I'm not that interested in watching. But the titles are hilarious because they're kind of pseudo clickbaity. So it's kind of like if you scroll down to the bottom of a news article and it's just like, you won't believe what celebrity died in 2020. And it's just, you know, a picture of Robert De Niro or someone, and it's like, he's alive. I don't know what you're trying to do. But also, the headlines could go with literally any topic, and they work. So I have a few examples here. I thought it'd be kind of a fun way to end the show here. I have not watched these videos, but the point is, it could be about, and I'm curious, what is this about? Because these are so generic titles. So here's an example. No one has been punished for this. I don't know, but now I'm intrigued. Who is really in charge? One of my personal favorites. We can't be this stupid anymore. And then number one in my book, we've been warning you this would happen. I have numerous examples of these just popping up in my social media feed, and I'm like, at any time in the last year and a half, you could post a video with this title about any subject, and it would be perfectly relevant, perfectly fine. And I think it teaches us something about how we name things.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe the name of this video on YouTube will be, What Do We Do Now?
Exactly right, yes. And it could be, you could do it on this video, you could do it on any video, because what do we do now?
You know, we keep on living.
That's exactly right. That's what we keep on living. Nick Davi, it has been a pleasure to be with you. I want to thank everyone here. Mike Gary, old Pasadena City College classmate of mine. Everyone has been great here. Jennifer Horn for giving me the opportunity. And this has been a lot of fun. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. I appreciate getting this opportunity. I do not take it lightly.
Thank you for coming on.
You're welcome. But
it's been awesome, seriously.
Yeah, kind of out of nowhere, just to have this opportunity to do it. This has been the Robert Davi Show. Daniel West filling in, CRN Digital Talk. Take care.
If Ernest Hemingway was